I started with piano for like 3 years. I studied, and then my piano teacher, suggested that I change because she saw qualities that might not help as a pianist. So she said smaller instrument, and that was violin. So I picked it up like that. It's kind of random. My name is Jaram Kim, and I'm a violinist. I was born in Gwangju, and I moved to the States early when I was 11 years old. I've spent, my teenage years there, which is a very important part of one's life. I became Korean American, even though I wasn't born there. Like, I struggled between being Korean and sort of American, which, like, I lived with my mom and I ate Korean food every day, and all of those things were very Korean. But then once I stepped out of my household, like, the rest is, another. So I sort of had like double identity, sort of, and during my teenage years that was kind of difficult to handle. I learned English by going to Barnes and Noble. I went to Barnes and Noble and I spent 4 hours there every day, like, because I loved books. I still love books. And I was like in 6th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade, but I was reading those baby books, like, fuzzy stuff, like you can feel, and it has like duck written on it, and I started with that, like what I could understand, because I had to study by myself. Like, I went to school, but learning, like, my mom didn't give me a tutor to learn English like extra fast. I just learned naturally. I think that's very important, because if you start with grammar and all the rules, it's like learning jazz. The rules in jazz is like really complicated. I started learning the theoretical part of jazz, and then when I had to play it, I got this block, because it didn't come naturally to me. It was just like, I know the rules, but it doesn't come out like the language, I think it's sort of the same. Like, you learn grammars first, and you're overwhelmed. You can't express, like, it's not natural. So I think if you start reading books to really easy stage, and just enjoy, like, speaking with a lot of people. As you can tell, I speak a lot. I talk a lot, so, it's like my father was worried that I wouldn't be able to speak when I go to America. He's like, Jaram, you are so talkative. What are you gonna do when you arrive in America? You can't say anything. But, 2 months I started speaking, so I think you have to, like, want to, communicate. You have to speak a lot, I think. As a classical musician, you all dream about, like, going to where the music is originated from, which is Europe. So I also dreamed about going to Europe, and I had a chance to go there by meeting my teacher in Italy. And I met him in a festival, and I decided it's time that I go before I get too old to learn new languages. So I went, and that's how I ended up in Firenze, in Florence. Teachers really pushed through always for me. Like, my parents aren't musical. Teachers always said, oh, she can really do something. So they always, like, relayed me around, to a better teacher and better teacher. They said, my limit is here. I know a better teacher. I don't think it happens a lot, because usually teachers are very, they want to keep the students for themselves. They don't want to share them, But I got to America that way. All the way to America by teachers. They always pulled me through. Well, for now, I should, continue building my career, focus on myself. Even though my parents think I should get married, I'm not ready for another 5 years. I do imagine having a family, but you know, with this kind of career, it's not easy because we're always like moving around. It's not like a one place based kind of work. So I don't know, that I will have to see, you know. I want to perform more solo stuff. I want to try to make a recording within certain years. Hopefully 2 years, but I'm not sure. I want to teach more now because I've been teaching for a long time, but you know, part-time. I don't have my own studio, like my own students. I want to create that as soon as possible so I can go to festivals all over and bring my students to study.